Tensei Oki, hello and bonjour. Thank you for joining us for the announcement of the projects identified for funding through CRIN's low emission fuels and product technology competition. My name is Ginny Flood and I am the board chair for the Clean Resource Innovation Network, commonly referred to as CRIN. And I will be joined today by my co-host, Jeanette Jackson, the CEO of Foresight Canada, which partnered with CRIN as an independent coordinator of this competition, along with their partner, the Delphi Group. It is important that we acknowledge the land we are gathering on today. And since we are coming together virtually from across the country, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge that wherever you are on the traditional lands of Indigenous peoples. I'm participating in this virtual meeting from the traditional lands of the Lekwungen peoples known today as the Esquimalt Songhees Nation, whose historical relationship with the land continued to this day. This land encompasses my home in Victoria, BC. As a way to acknowledge the traditional lands you may be on, I ask that you add your location and land acknowledgements in the chat. And if you don't know, I encourage you to seek this out as part of your own journey, personal journey of reconciliation. Well, let's get started. Here is how the event will flow. Jeanette Jackson, CEO of Foresight Canada, is going to start things off with her perspective on supporting acceleration and adoption of market-ready clean technology and the contribution to achieving net zero goals. Then I will provide an overview of this competition before we announce the successful projects. We have a chance to talk with representatives of each project and learn a bit about their work through short videos. There will be a few minutes at the end of the event for media to ask questions. And members of the media, please enter your name and media affiliation in the Q&A at any time if you would like to ask a question at the end. And members of the audience who are not media are invited to share their comments and questions in the chat, and we will follow up after the event. Thank you for everyone for attending to these points of order. And now let's jump into the business of the day that has brought us all together. With the housekeeping established, I would like to formally introduce my co-host for today, Jeanette Jackson. Jeanette Jackson is the CEO of Foresight Canada's Clean Tech Accelerator. Foresight was a competition coordinator for CRIN's low emission fuels and products technology competition. Welcome, Jeanette.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Ginny, for those kind words and introduction. It is my pleasure to join you all today for this important conclusion of the CRIN Low Emission Fuels and Products Technology Competition, and of course, the exciting announcement of technologies and ventures identified for funding as part of this activity. On behalf of the Foresight team, it has been a real privilege to be competition coordinator for this program alongside the Delphi Group. Foresight is Canada's largest clean tech accelerator, supporting over 800 Canadian clean tech companies over the past several years, really working tirelessly to position Canada as a global leader in clean tech innovation. Our model is to bring together clean tech innovators and startups with industry, investors, government, and academia to address today's most urgent climate issues and support a global transition to a green economy. We are driven by the urgency of achieving Canada's 2050 climate targets while also growing the green economy and creating skilled clean tech jobs. We know that Canada has the innovators, the drive, and the ability to be a global leader in this space. The CRIN Low Emission Fuels and Products Technology Competition was launched on March 30th, 2021. We implemented a strong communications and engagement campaign to connect with the innovation community that we were looking for low carbon solutions to transform Canada's oil and gas industry. For the expression of interest phase, we received close to 50 applications from across the country from consortia consisting of at least one SME plus at least one oil and gas producer. This pan-Canada response is a testament to Canada's growing clean tech ecosystem. The strongest applications then proceeded to the full project proposal phase. And after a rigorous evaluation process, the competition coordinators shared their recommendations with the review panel for which projects should receive funding starting December 2021. The cumulative GHG emission reductions estimated by the 4 projects selected is 55 megatons of CO2 emissions. So let's just all take a pause on that incredible impact on this investment alone. We are encouraged by the quality of applications to this competition. The projects selected for funding have tremendous potential to combat climate change and contribute to a vibrant economy. And this is extremely exciting for all of us. We know it's time to get serious about reducing emissions. Programs like this are critical investments in reaching net zero targets and maximizing competitiveness of Canada's industry. As we work with partners across the country and globally, we are seeing unprecedented commitments to climate solutions. And we are seeing Canadian clean tech ecosystems launching, growing, and maturing, starting to make a real impact on the world stage. But there are still gaps in ensuring all stakeholders are at the table like never before, aligning on innovation at the industry level, accelerator programs from ideation to scale to help these ventures mature and be prepared for pilots and capital to commercialize from different resources, whether it's early stage, late stage, private, public, and of course, government to set clear policies and expectations so that there's a real open playing field for ventures, industry, and the like to collaborate. Congratulations to the applicants and projects who have been selected to the CRIN Low Emissions Fuels and Products Technology Competition. It's a bit of a mouthful. We can't wait to see what comes next.
Thank you, Jeanette, and thank you to Foresight and the Delphi group team that coordinated this competition for CRIN. And now for those who are not familiar with CRIN, I'd like to introduce you to this Network of Networks organization through a short video. Can we please have the video?
The Clean Resource Innovation Network, CRIN for short, is a Canadian initiative founded with the purpose of enabling cleaner energy development by commercializing and adopting technologies for the oil and gas industry that reduce environmental impact across the energy sector. To achieve this goal, CRIN is focused on 7 theme areas. By sharing expertise and knowledge across a range of sectors and focusing on the theme areas that will have the largest impact on the environment, CRIN is committed to making progress on many environmental challenges, including one of the most pressing, climate change. Sharing ideas from across the network will be focused on identifying key challenges or solutions that will have the greatest impact on improving the oil and gas industry's environmental performance. And that's CRIN's foundation. Diverse collaborative members, a shared passion for innovation, and the common goal of leading the global transformation to a cleaner energy future. To support CRIN's clean energy goals, the Canadian government, through innovation, science, and economic development, has invested $100 million over 4 years to enable CRIN to execute 3 large-scale technology competitions for high-impact projects with clear paths to commercialization. Innovators and clean tech companies from around the world are encouraged to bring their ideas, energy, and spirit to CRIN. Join CRIN today to stay up to date on upcoming technology competitions and events. Collaborate with diverse people in like-minded communities. Connect with other sectors and people working across the network to see how you can help each other. For more information about CRIN and to register for our no-cost membership, visit cleanresourceinnovation.com. Welcome to the network.
As we saw in the video, CRIN was created to bring together the many stakeholders of the oil and gas innovation ecosystem to accelerate the development, deployment, and commercialization of technology that will address environmental and economic challenges faced by the oil and gas industry. Most significant of these challenges is the need to achieve Canada's net zero targets through reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. CRIN's low emission fuels and product technology competition, which we are here to celebrate today, is proud to play a part in reducing GHG emissions. This competition is investing just over 30 million into 4 large-scale projects that are anticipated to provide a cumulative emission reduction of 55.43 megatons of CO2 equivalent by 2033. This is an impressive figure determined through early analysis by the projects. We will be cheering them on and watching and monitoring and reporting on this data as we work through these projects. It is important to recognize the collaboration and contribution of many stakeholders to achieve these numbers. It is only possible because clean tech developers, the oil and gas industry, governments, investors, and many others see opportunities and great value in working together to create a sustainable and globally competitive industry in Canada. Investment, expertise, facilities, knowledge, and diverse perspectives from across the oil and gas innovation ecosystem are required to bring forward the technologies that will support Canada's demand for a diverse energy system and environmental stewardship. CRIN's low emission fuels and product technology competition is the second of our 3 large-scale late-stage oil and gas technology competitions. These competitions will award a total of 80 million, made possible by the investments from the Government of Canada's Strategic Innovation Fund. Today, we are here to celebrate the producers, solution developers, academia, accelerators, government, and investors who will have and will continue to help move inspire ideas through to commercialization and into widespread adoption of real results like 55 megatons of GHG reduction can be realized. Each project addresses at least one of 4 areas of the competition: innovative products from hydrocarbons, carbon capture and utilization, hydrogen and geothermal, and low carbon intensity alternatives and new fuels. And I'm going to send it over to you, Jeanette.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ginny. We were joking about transition, so that's fantastic. These are exciting breakthrough projects, and they certainly encompass some of the hottest topics in the climate change landscape. I think we should turn the spotlight to them now. Let's have that drum roll and a round of applause for all of the finalists in the CRIN Low Emission Fuels and Product Technology Competition. We have these 4 technologies to introduce to you today, so we're going to meet them one at a time through short videos followed by a chat with one of the project leads. I believe we're going to kick off with Ginny introducing our first finalist.
So our first project is a pilot deployment by Econa's pulse methane polarizer solutions for clean hydrogen production. And this is Econa Power, and industry partners are Synovus Energy and TransAlta. And the project is recommended for 8 million of CRIN funding and is anticipated to provide up to 35 megatons of cumulative emission reduction by 2033. So let's see the short video and learn a little bit about Econa.
My name is Gary Schuback. I'm the Vice President of Business Development at Econa. Steam methane reforming is the industry standard method for hydrogen production today, but it adds greenhouse gas emissions to our environment that are costly to mitigate. Other solutions like electrolysis can be very clean when there's clean electricity, but they're costly. We're looking for new solutions that provide clean hydrogen without adding cost. Econa's novel PMP reactor converts natural gas into hydrogen and solid carbon, significantly reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Our reactor is low cost, scalable, integrates with industry standard equipment, and can be flexibly deployed wherever natural gas infrastructure exists. This program will scale our technology up to pilot readiness. We will integrate it here in our Burnaby facility and then deploy a 1 ton per day pilot with our project partners, TransAlta and Cenovus Energy. Econa's PMP solution provides a new pathway for clean hydrogen production that doesn't add cost. Our solution can drive value in Canada's oil and gas industry, where large amounts of hydrogen are used for upgrading, refining, and low carbon fuels production. But more than that, it can help drive decarbonization in many tough to decarbonize segments of our economy, such as heat and power, where natural gas plays a large role. Canada has an abundance of low-cost natural gas that can provide feedstock for centralized, low-cost, and clean hydrogen production, both for domestic and export markets. At Econa, we plan to attract investment into Canada and create high-quality jobs. And as we penetrate Canada's hydrogen production market, we plan to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by up to 8 megatons per year by 2033. This project means a great deal to Econa. CRIN support is helping us to scale up our reactor and deploy our pilot program, which drives us faster and closer to commercialization. And featuring our technology with key industry players helps drive market adoption and accelerate commercialization.
Well, thanks, Gary, and welcome. This is a great example of technology, and congratulations. Would kind of like to explore, can you tell us in layman's terms how the technology works and what you mean by the term reactor that we heard about in the video?
Yeah, I'd love to. Thanks, and really appreciate being part of this program. Thanks very much. Well, first of all, I'll just say that methane or natural gas is an excellent carrier of hydrogen, and sometimes that just needs to be pointed out and reminded. Methane molecule is CH4, carbon and hydrogen. And what our reactor does is split that into its components, carbon and hydrogen. And we do that by getting the gas very, very hot, so hot that those bonds that hold the CH4 together break apart, dissociate, and we're left with solid carbon and hydrogen, no CO2. And that's called pyrolysis, and that's the technology we're developing. Because we produce solid carbon and not CO2, we have the potential to significantly reduce greenhouse gas emissions compared with conventional techniques like steam methane reforming.
That's awesome. So you can elaborate a little bit, and how is your solution able to achieve such significant reductions? And just as an add-on, can it be used in other industries?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd love to speak to that. Thank you. Well, first of all, just reiterate, we dissociate natural gas into solid carbon and hydrogen, and that's the key, and that key is held in our reactor. It's the core of our technology solution. But what enables us to have high impact, there's just a few things that drive that. First of all, economical. We always believe that our solutions need to be economical and at cost parity with existing technologies. And so we've driven a design that is predicated on a combustion event, something that can be scaled to industry and can achieve cost parity with existing solutions. We need economical, clean solutions, and that's what we're trying to develop. The second thing I'll say is we are building this on an existing natural gas infrastructure. Canada is rich with abundant low-cost natural gas, and we have a massive infrastructure across our country. And by building a solution that stands on the shoulders of that existing infrastructure enables us to deploy a solution quickly and broadly across Canada, and that maximizes the GHG abatement impact we can achieve.
That's great. Thank you, Gary. I'm going to now turn it over to Jeanette to introduce our next project.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ginny. Very excited to be part of this next announcement here. Getting my notes out. So the next project I'm pleased to announce is clean hydrogen generation via natural gas pyrolysis. and I am here with KWI Polymers with the project supported by Suncor Energy. This project is recommended for 10 million of CRIN funding and is anticipated to provide over 13.5 megatons of accumulative emissions reductions by 2033. Let's learn more about this clean hydrogen generation project now. I think there's going to be a video.
My name is Kelly Campbell, and I'm the Director of Clean Energy and Hydrogen Technology Development at Suncor. At Suncor, hydrogen is currently used in our refining and upgrading operations to produce a range of fuels. We see hydrogen as a clean energy carrier that will be a key part of the solution for Canada to meet its net zero objectives. We're really excited about this project and the future of our industry. This project involves clean hydrogen production using a process called natural gas pyrolysis. Now what this is a process to split methane into hydrogen and a solid carbon product. It's an innovative collaboration between KWI Polymers and Suncor with the potential to produce both low cost and low GHG emissions hydrogen. So this project could demonstrate that hydrogen can be produced at a lower cost and with lower GHG emissions than other alternatives, which would really lead to broader adoption of hydrogen across a variety of markets and uses, including hydrogen for GHG-free residential communities, hydrogen for long-haul heavy-duty transportation, hydrogen for power generation, and also hydrogen use for the continued growth of our renewable liquid fuels facilities. This project is an excellent example of Canada's clean technology capability. I would just say that I think there's a perception from a lot of Canadians that it's really just Alberta-based companies that are looking at solutions to reduce the emissions from our energy sector. And this project is an excellent example of collaboration between companies across Canada and how when we work together, we're going to be able to achieve our country's net zero objectives.
Wonderful. I think we can all here on the line understand the importance that hydrogen has the opportunity to play in the future of Canada's energy sector. We've seen lots of announcements with the hydrogen strategies by province and of course nationally. Delighted to be here with Kelly Campbell. Congratulations, Kelly. Thank you for joining us. So I love that you mentioned across Canada collaboration. Can you elaborate on where your project collaborators are located and what they're bringing to the project? You're mute.
Hello?
There we go. Perfect.
Strange. Sorry about that. Yeah, I mean, I would just start by saying that, first of all, that we really look for technology solutions that meet the challenges that you're facing. We're really excited to be working with KWI Polymers. They're a technology provider based out of Quebec. And I think it's a really good reminder that technologies and solutions for our energy sector can come from across the country. KWI technology is really well suited to providing low emissions and low cost hydrogen in areas of our country that have access to clean power and where CO2 storage is not an option. So that includes Quebec, where they're located, also Ontario and BC. In addition, so KWI produces a high quality, saleable, solid carbon product, and they're well located in Eastern Canada to provide that carbon product for manufacturing hubs and users in the region.
Wonderful. We've started to see some incredible opportunities and ideas coming out of Quebec and Eastern Canada as well. You mentioned that in the application of this technology that it could result in GHG emission reductions in other sectors, which I know is of interest to all Canadians. Can you tell us how the technology could be applied to achieve this?
Yeah, you bet. I mean, I would start by saying that currently the bulk of hydrogen that's produced and consumed in Canada is used to produce fuels. Some of the challenges with using hydrogen for other markets and uses are the emissions associated with producing the hydrogen and also the cost associated with mature clean hydrogen options like electrolysis. And so where KWI's technology has a lot of potential is in its ability to address both of those issues, producing a low emissions and a low cost hydrogen, which could really open up additional markets and use cases in Canada. And I mentioned a couple of them in the video there, but just to reiterate, hydrogen is really well suited to decarbonize certain sectors that are really difficult to decarbonize using other pathways or options. Some examples there are long haul, heavy duty transportation, where electric vehicles just don't have the power and range that's needed. Another example is residential heating or industrial heating. Those are also areas that are quite difficult to decarbonize. So, thinking about residential heating, over the short term, hydrogen can be blended into natural gas to reduce emissions from residential heating. But over the longer term, there's potential that maybe hydrogen could actually displace natural gas, which could lead to potentially even GHG-free residential communities.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much, Kelly. Congratulations to you and the Suncor and KWI teams. I'm now going to pass it over to Ginny to introduce us to the third project.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Kelly and Jeanette. So I'm very pleased to announce the third project recommended for CRIN funding, a molten carbonate fuel cell demonstration pilot. And the partners by Canadian Natural, Fuel Cell Energy, and additional industry partners such as Cenovus, Chevron Canada, Shell Canada, Suncor Energy, COSIA, and Emission Reduction Alberta. And this project is recommended for 6.8 million of the CRIN funding and is anticipated to provide over 3 megatons of cumulative emission reduction by 2033. So let's watch the short video and get a better view of what's.
My name is Simon Davies, and I am the Manager of Greenhouse Gas Projects in Canadian Natural. We're located in Calgary, Alberta. Capturing and sequestering CO2 is key to our aspiration for net zero emissions at our oil sands operations. And commercial technologies require a significant amount of energy and cost. So the energy consumption is the challenge. It means a significant operating cost and additional greenhouse gases that get emitted. So to address the problem, we've identified molten carbonate fuel cells as a potential game-changing solution. Molten carbonate fuel cells will capture CO2 from a flue gas without generating new greenhouse gas emissions. In fact, it's a win-win because molten carbonate fuel cells will also generate some electricity without additional greenhouse gas emissions. The collaborators that we have from Technology Clean Tech is Fuel Cell Energy. So this technology is the world's first demonstration of molten carbonate fuel cells capturing CO2 from a flue gas stream, which demonstrates Canada as a leading player in the clean tech innovation space. So Canadian Natural is a part of the Oil Sands Pathways to Net Zero Alliance. And this alliance has an aspiration to achieve net zero by 2050. This technology could play an important part in being able to achieve that net zero. It's also not just applicable to the oil and gas industry. It could be used for any industry that has CO2 to capture from an exhaust gas stream. And in addition to that, many industries consume a significant amount of electricity, so this technology could be a good fit for them. So for me personally, this is the culmination of 6 years of work on the technology, starting from studies on understanding the technology and its benefits, right the way through to where we are today. And beyond, we're excited to see how it could play out in deployment at our operations.
Well, joining us today from Canadian Natural to represent the molten carbonate fuel cell project is Simon Davies. Welcome, Simon, and congratulations. I have just two quick questions. While it's being tested in the oil sands, do you foresee application of this fuel cell technology in other sectors of the energy industry or adoption by other industries?
Absolutely. This technology is completely agnostic to exhaust streams from fossil fuel burning. So it can capture CO2 from any exhaust stream from any industry, basically. We'll use that captured CO2 in a positive way to generate emissions-free electricity at the same time. And so where you have industries that need to capture CO2, and at the same time those industries consume a significant amount of electricity, then this becomes a really good fit for them.
Great. And then one of the benefits of the fuel cell technology is producing CO2 products at the pipeline pressure. And why is that important and what are the benefits?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because to achieve net zero, we know that we are going to need to sequester a significant proportion of the CO2 that we capture from all industries going forwards. And that requires that product CO2 to be at a significantly high pressure in order to get it into the ground and sequester it. And today's technologies, the challenge they have is that the CO2 that they produce from capturing is at a low pressure. And so they need a significant amount of additional energy input to compress that CO2 to make it ready for sequestration. The advantage with molten carbonate fuel cell is that it produces that CO2 product at the pressure ready for sequestration without any additional energy input. It's just a part of the process. It comes out at that pressure.
That's great. Well, thank you, Simon. And I'm going to turn it back to Jeanette for our fourth and final project spotlight.
Thank you, Ginny. Congratulations, Simon, and all the other participants and applicants part of that winning bid here. I am delighted to announce the fourth project identified for CRIN funding in this competition. And that is, every time the screen comes up, it pops down here. Integration of advanced carbon recycling technologies to diversify Canada's energy sector with forestry biomass derived renewable fuel. And this is by Enerchem, Suncor Energy, and Infrasynthetic Fuels. Enerchem's project is recommended for $5.5 million in funding and is anticipated to provide 3.5 megatons of accumulative emissions reductions by 2033. Let's meet the Enerchem project team.
My name is David Lynch. I'm General Manager of Research and Development at Enerchem. The heavy transportation sector has been identified as a hard to decarbonize industry sector. The project will validate a solution that can directly provide low carbon fuel to the sector while simplifying both the manufacturing process and supply chain requirements. The novelty and key competitive advantages of this new demonstration lie in the integration of biomass-derived syngas with advanced Fischer-Tropsch synthesis, particularly a novel catalyst. This differs from traditional gas-to-liquid and other Fischer-Tropsch technologies in that the main product of the reaction is a liquid that can be blended directly in diesel fuel. This project will validate product quality, blend quality, technology compatibility, and overall sustainability of a commercial plant. By combining Enerchem's feedstock flexible gasification technology with Infra's advanced Fischer-Tropsch technology, we are able to use the most sustainable feedstocks in a cost-effective process that avoids the cost and energy intensity typically required to upgrade Fischer-Tropsch products to fuel grade. Our low-cost, low-carbon product will be used as a blend stock that can play a critical role in helping Suncor Energy achieve its CO2 reduction targets. This project will demonstrate the integration of the Enerchem and Infra technologies at a scale of 8 barrels per day and will provide critical design information for future commercial deployments. The project is an excellent demonstration of cross-sectoral collaboration by Canadian small and medium enterprises technology developers, the forestry sector, and the oil and gas industry. The project will help decarbonize Canada and attract investment. We are looking to commercial deployment of the integrated technologies by 2030 in British Columbia, where the facility will achieve up to 91% GHG emission reductions. Overall, we hope to achieve 3.3 million tons of GHG reduction through the implementation of 3 commercial plants deployed across Canada by 2033. In doing this, we'll create more than 700 direct and indirect jobs. The project represents a game-changing advancement for the oil and gas sector with immense global impact.
All right, joining us from Enerchem is David Lynch. Welcome, David, and congratulations.
Hi, thanks very much. And thanks for considering us in this CRIN competition. We're very pleased to be here. Thanks.
Absolutely. The heavy transportation sector is an important sector for the Canadian economy and as a focus area for efforts to reduce emissions. We saw in the video that your liquid solution can blend directly with diesel fuel. Why and how does that make a difference?
Yeah, so really it makes a big sustainability impact in 2 ways, both technically and from a supply chain standpoint. So technically, we're taking 2 best-in-class technologies that are basically able to make a liquid fuel blend directly from forestry and agricultural residues and even urban waste. So you've got the Enerchem gasification technology and the infra technology proprietary catalyst system. And what we're able to do is by making this product a direct blendable product, we're really avoiding all of the costs associated with refineries, the cost and carbon associated with the refining of typical Fischer-Tropsch products. So it's very impactful in that we're able to take the most sustainable feedstocks and put it in a very sustainable process to go directly to market. And this leads us to the supply chain impacts, where we're able to, by making this blend directly blendable with diesel, it goes right to the point of retail. So it simplifies the supply chain and really makes this product available today through the existing infrastructure that we have across Canada.
Amazing. What are other examples of commercial deployments that Enerchem will target once this pilot project is complete? The video mentioned forestry as well as oil and gas, but what makes these sectors ideal customers and that will benefit from Enerchem's technology?
Yeah, well, so really what we're looking to do is work on leveraging the strengths of Canada's strongest industry sectors, which are, forestry and agricultural sector, as well as the oil and gas sector. And really what we're able to do is take the sustainable carbon that we're getting already in the forestry and agriculture sectors, and we're putting that in a very simple process into a form that's directly compatible with the oil and gas industry carbon. And through doing this, we're making a very sustainable, low carbon liquid fuel that goes right to the point of sale. And that actually is critical to the transportation sector.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, David. Congratulations
Thank you.
to you and your team. And of course, congratulations to all of these project leaders and their many collaborative partners and team members. After the event, I encourage everyone to visit www.acceleratingcleanenergy.com, where you'll find additional information and have the opportunity to see these videos again. And please share them with your networks. I'm sure we'll see a lot of tagging on LinkedIn, given this incredible investment by CRIN and that the network of industry players supporting that initiative. Thank you so much.
So this brings us to the end of our program. What I want to do is I want to congratulate again all of the projects that were successful. It's a very exciting time for us. And I would encourage you to visit CRIN if you're not a member, to be a member. And after the event, I encourage everyone to visit www.acceleratingcleanenergy.com, where you'll find additional information and have an opportunity to see the videos again. So please also share this with your networks, because we are a network of networks. Again, thanks everyone for joining us today. And we will continue to monitor and look at these projects as we go forward. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great morning. Talk to you soon. Bye.